Happy Tuesday.
Your thoughts on the 53-man roster? You guys got to cut down. What are your thoughts on how the initial 53 looks?
The beginning. It's the beginning, and then we'll grow back. Tomorrow. Like I said the other night, I mean, this roster isn't really a 53 anymore. It was the last time I was in the league. Now, it's much higher into the 70s.
Your decision to keep 7 receivers, or you guys' decision to keep 7 receivers, could you shed any insight into that? Like with Brendan and Simi, those guys making the roster, did they impress you enough to do that, to keep that group? And did you expect to keep that many players at that position?
Yeah, that was. Did they impress us? Yes.
Did you anticipate to keep that many, like when you started camp, or did you not have any number in mind?
Oh, I knew it was as we were going through it, I actually looked at that as the likely number.
How important is
But
practice squad?
what you know? Did I know? I mean, that's in an area that, I mean, it's biblical. No man knows the future.
Since you coached last in the NFL, how much more important is the practice squad, like, over the 18 weeks?
Boy, how many times more important would be a great question. I mean, it's a couple X more important for sure, because in a lot of ways, I mean, that the practice squad can be elevated to the game day roster, to a week, to a game, without, they're called, elevations, plus, over the course of the season. I mean, they got to stay frosty. They got to be ready, and that's really important that those players are game ready, game ready to go. You need them ready before you need them ready. You want them ready before you need them ready. And the other thing, I think it's really good. I mean, just for the mentality of the player, keeps them improving, keeps them getting better. I think last time around, or before the changes in the rules, I mean, a guy could even he could really level off. Like, hey, I'm parked here. This is where I'm at. Get him next year. Human nature takes over, and you don't have that urgency to get as good at football as you possibly can. I think there's just much more incentive right now to every single day to be working and getting as good at football as you possibly can, because you might find yourself in the game on Sunday.
As you're looking for practice squad players and filling out that roster, what are you looking for in terms of a mentality? Because, like you said, you want those guys to stay frosty.
Yeah. The best players that we can get. So it's a big day. I mean, I put it in the category. I mean, it's not just another day. Yeah, it's today.
I know I've asked you about this before, but did you feel like you were? I know there's a point where you said you feel like Easton was getting competition at camp and stuff like that. Did you feel like he progressed throughout camp to a point where you're satisfied with him moving forward as a backup?
Oh, I think he has. I think he has definitely progressed.
You're satisfied with
Satisfied? I mean, that is just a word I'd never use in connection to football in any way. So, going forward, that word is just, I hardly ever even, like, cringe. That's a cringe-worthy word, No. That'd be in the bottom 5 as it relates to football words. It would not even be up there in the top 5. It would be in the bottom 5.
Why is that?
Comfortable would be right there with satisfied. It just doesn't resonate to me, in football. Like the other words are better. Engaged. That's a tremendous word. Execution. That's a top 5 word. Reckoning. You know, those are real football words to me. Satisfied doesn't, bottom 5.
And how satisfied have you been with your players just kind of buying into that type of mentality since you've been here?
Yeah, so far so good. I mean, it's just, you know, I'm very much a, you know, like today, you know, I wake up early, you know, maybe it's to have a longer day, you know, and just get it straight from my mom, Jackie Harbaugh, you know, one play at a time, one game at a time, one day at a time, and see how much we can make out of today.
Tommy was out here a few weeks ago, right, and he kind of wrote about how, right, all this stuff about the, right, to take today, how that remains unchanged. You know, he says this is who you were, you know, when you took over the Niners. Just kind of wondering, kind of when you look back from that time to now, while that has remained the same, what parts of you think have changed, maybe?
I think there's been growth. I wouldn't say too much of anything has changed, but I think there's definitely been growth in areas. I don't have that list in front of me, but yeah, I'm pretty sure. Probably with me, probably with most people. You know, I'd say at 40. I mean, the changing stop, and it was locked in for, you know, for sure. There wasn't too much changing with me after that. But remained the same person.
It's kind of a bigger picture kind of question, but I'm just kind of curious. You know, I know you've
But
been
growth.
Yeah.
I mean, always open to growth. I mean, it's like always open to, and just in general, just the open door. You know, that's the one I seek. You know, it'd be like if you went to the mall, and sometimes they have that bank of doors, and several are shut, but one's open. I mean, I'm not trying the one that's closed. I'm walking through the open door, open to growth.
How you know, I know there's been a lot out there about like your faith and stuff. I'm just kind of curious, how has that maybe affected your view of football, maybe your approach towards football? How has that kind of like influenced, you think, the way, you know, you look at the game and stuff?
Yeah, faith, family, football. If really put it in, those are my priorities. As it relates to football, I would say in my professional life, my home life, personal and professional life, I've just come to realize that every time I try to do something, you know, my own thinking, it turns out bad, and then if I can get the prayer, and at some point it comes to me, this is the Holy Spirit guiding me, then it works out. It works out really good. So that's how it's directly affected football. My job.
Like in terms of, I don't know, when you're talking about
My own plans, my own, like, you know, kind of thoughts about how to do something. Yeah. There's through prayer. Yeah. That. I feel guided. I feel like I'm getting guidance, you know, directly from the Holy Spirit.
Do you remember a time when you left to your own devices, something went like awry the last time that happened to you?
Just over the course of my life, yeah, personally and professionally, it became clear that and being thankful for whatever that was, you know, that God was leading, what direction He was leading me in, having the gratitude for that.